Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our presentation, Characterizing Datasets for Social Visual Question Answering and the new TinySocial dataset. Our group is from Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee, USA. The first two authors, zhanwen.chen and Xiaoman, will be presenting our work today. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is zhanwen.chen, and I recently graduated from Vanderbilt University with a master's in computer science. I was part of the AVAS lab and under the direction of Dr. Maithilee. And let me start off by having everyone watch a fun and short clip from Harry Potter. Be sure to watch carefully because I have a quiz for you afterwards.
Well now. And who are you?
Oh, sorry, sir. I'm Harry, sir. Harry Potter.
Good Lord. Are you really? Well, Ron's told us all about you, of course. When did you get here?
This morning. Your sons flew that enchanted car of yours to Surrey and back last night.
Did you really? How'd it go?
Oh,
I mean, that was very wrong indeed, boys. Very wrong of you.
Hope you enjoyed the last video. And here comes the question. Is the father really upset about the boys flying the car? A, yes, he was embarrassed that he raised a bad driver. B, the father was not upset, but had to comply with his wife's position of scolding the kids. C, no, he found a lot of humor in the incident. And D, yes, he grounds boys for a month as a punishment. What's your answer? 3, 2, 1, go. And the correct answer is B. The father was not upset, but had to comply with his wife's position of scolding the kids. And how do we get to the answer? Well, we had some clues. Here's one. The mom patted the dad on the arm. And 2, the two kids looking at each other, smiling. In fact, the inference you just did was very complex, using lots of different clues to make lots of different inferences about the hidden social and emotional content in the clip that you weren't deliberately thinking about. In fact, we make tons of these decisions every single day without us even knowing. Well then, an interesting question is, how can we study social reasoning about video clips in a systematic way? How can we study it for both machines and humans? Well, our solution is to have a well-characterized question-answer dataset for use in both humans and machine experiments. We have 3 main contributions. First, we created a new dataset, TinySocial, that has subsets created through both crowdsourcing and in-house authoring. Secondly, we described new rubrics for characterizing the social content and complexity for both video clips and questions. Lastly, we provide detailed comparisons of our crowdsourced dataset, our in-house dataset, and the existing social IQ dataset developed by a group at Carnegie Mellon. Our project was first inspired by a related project called Film Detective, also from our group. Unlike many other datasets, we collected this dataset primarily for human consumption, especially for use in an educational game to help middle school kids on the autism spectrum learn more about social reasoning. In order to crowdsource the dataset, we developed a recursive crowdsourcing strategy, which first find videos on YouTube that are rich in social and emotional interactions. We then recursively crowdsource the questions and use the questions to crowdsource correct answers and then incorrect answers. And lastly, we put them all together and use them to create a benchmark accuracy quiz like the interactive activity in the beginning of this presentation. Next, we set out to answer the question, what makes social visual question answering difficult? First, the difficulties could come from the video clips themselves. Here's a comprehensive list of complicating factors in the video. For example, the fast-paced speech in the Mean Girls clip makes question answering very difficult. Additionally, not all questions are created equal. Some may draw on different types of clues or require different knowledge and reasoning. For example, the question you answered drew on various aspects, including facial expressions, body languages, reasoning about motivation, and beliefs. Next, I'll hand off the presentation to my lab mate, Shiyao.
Hi everyone, my name is Shiyao, a second-year data science master student at Vanderbilt University. I'm also one of the authors of this paper. I'll show you how did we compare our dataset with other similar datasets. In this paper, we selected social IQ dataset created by team from Carnegie Mellon University. Here is the question type distribution of our dataset and social IQ dataset. We simply described our dataset questions into describe, do, how, is, what, as well as why questions. We also set questions other than those into another category. Compared with social IQ dataset, most of our questions are what questions, and we have less how questions and is questions. We also simulated applying different strategies on answering the questions. We simulated 3 different strategies, including always choosing the shortest answer, always choosing the longest answer, as well as randomly choosing one answer. By applying each strategy on subsample of the clips with different sample size, when n equals to 1, 5, and 9. For each sample size, we simulated applying each strategy 1,000 times. We also included the modified version of social IQ dataset, which has the same format as ours, 1 correct answer and 3 incorrect answers. From the result, we can see that when people always choosing the longest answer, the accuracy will be better than randomly guessing. Therefore, our future work will also include shortening our answers. We also compared from which part of video clips we can find answers for questions in dataset. We compared in 7 sections, from the words being said, from prosody like characters' tone and volume, from the facial expression, from their body language, such as gestures, from the physical actions, such as events ongoing, and the artistic effects, such as the background music. From the plot, we found that the answer for questions in our dataset are more likely to be found from physical actions, while social IQ focuses more on getting answers from the facial expressions as well as the body language. Thank you.
In conclusion, our TinySocial dataset will be used in both interventions with social reasoning, especially for people on the autism spectrum disorder. For example, the work on film detective, and AI test sets for systems, because we've characterized clips and questions so that they're easy to analyze the performance of AI systems. We're continuing to expand our data set as we go, and please follow our lab website for updates. We thank the anonymous reviewers for their helpful feedback on the paper, as well as different grant issuers. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation.